justify the rationale behind the establishment of the investment board back in 2011. Right Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Vice Chair of National Planning Commission, esteemed Chief Secretary and Member of the Investment Board, respected Secretaries of Government of Nepal, Excellency Ambassadors and the Head of Missions and representatives of our development partner organizations, respected Presidents of FNCCI, CNI, NCC and other federations of private sector organizations, representatives from the bank and financial institutions, our valued investors, academia, distinguished guests and participants who have joined us today, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome you all in this 12th anniversary celebration of Investment Board Nepal. On behalf of the Investment Board and on my own, I wish to express my sincere gratitude to Your Excellencies and the dignitaries for accepting our invitation and joining this special event today. In fact, every day needs to be celebrated. However, anniversaries are special moments to recollect our past memories and cherish them again. We together have successfully completed our journey of more than a decade, and today we are celebrating our 12th anniversary. We value all who are sharing this special day with us. This institution was established with the noble purpose of garnering private investment, including foreign direct investment in transformative infrastructure projects, thereby contributing to reducing financing gap in critical infrastructures. We would like to extend our sincere appreciation to the noble thoughts and deeds of the leaderships of IBN, because of whom we are at this stage now. Fortunately, we do have former executive officers of the Investment Board here with us today. We would like to take this opportunity to salute them from the core of our hearts for founding, nurturing and steering this institution. Building a house from scratch is a hard job indeed. On this auspicious day, we also would like to acknowledge the valuable contributions of all the past and present employees of IBM and meaningful support from all the stakeholder agencies to enable this institution for achieving remarkable progress within a short period. Being a fast-track and nodal agency in garnering investment and managing large and transformative infrastructures related PPP project, IBM has approved 42 projects of about 9.6 billion USD till date. Guided by its strategic plan, IBM has been evolving as a PPP center of excellence and set its target to bring at least 10 billion USD investment and manage PPP projects of at least 6 billion USD, including others by 2025-2026. For realizing this, IBM has focused on 4 strategic pillars, that is project development and management, investment promotion, institution development, and coordination, collaboration and partnership. Nepal is aspiring towards graduating from LDC category by 2026 and achieving sustainable development goals and middle income country status by 2030. In order to realize those lofty national targets, we require huge investment in the areas of our competitive advantage and in enhancing our productive capacity. We are going to convene Nepal Investment Summit in 2024. We will collaborate with you all concerned stakeholders for making this summit very successful. Taking the busy schedule of our dignitaries into account, we have tried to conclude this event in 1.5 hours. We do have a theme paper presentation by respected founding CEO of Investment Board Nepal, Mr. Rajesh Pantal. We do have video messages from the representatives of our development partners and valued investors. We are also going to facilitate the key personalities and institutions for their astounding contributions in achieving major milestones. We will conclude today's event with the remarks from our chief guests and dignitaries. Once again, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to Right Honourable Prime Minister and the Chair of the Investment Board for his gracious presence today. Similarly, please let us allow to extend our sincere appreciation to Honourable Ministers, esteemed members of the Investment Board Nepal, respected secretaries of government Nepal, excellency ambassadors and head of the representatives of development partners organizations, CEOs and managing directors of our projects, presidents of federations of private sector organizations, representatives from banks and financial institutions, and distinguished participants for being a part of this special day. In fact, we are grateful to you for taking your time from your busy schedule and to help us in making 12th anniversary a memorable event. Finally, wish you again a very warm welcome. Please stay with us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
It is indeed a pleasure and an honor for me to be here amidst you today. Basically, 12 years ago, after a decade long of conflict, and of course, right when the country became a republic, there was a lot of expectations, and of course, the one thing that Nepal wanted was to come up with extreme increase in the investments, especially to transform the economic development of Nepal. So under the Prime Minister, at that point in time, Investment Board Nepal was established with a lot of power, and that's when I had joined also. And it was basically to be autonomous and non-political, commercial, and really a commercial face for the Nepal government. It was like a professional institution whereby it was doing business for Nepal, and the government of Nepal and the Nepalese people. Now, 12 years is a major milestone for Investment Board, because I remember 12 years ago, the first office I had was one small office on the ground floor of this building. And now, as you can see, it's a huge institution, has a great property. Hopefully that can become Investment Board's property, I think, because that's what we had envisioned, and that's what we should envision for in the future, because that's how you can attract private investment. Having said that, our celebration today is not just so much a festivity, but it's a solemn occasion to reflect on those vision and ideals. Also a moment to look ahead, because there are a lot of challenges. The world is changing. The landscape, investment landscape, is enormously changing, and there's a lot of competition. So we established it to be the investment destination, develop transformative projects, have a one-window service, and become a PPP Center of Excellence. Now, what I'd like to do is, what I thought was, how do we compare them? I mean, of course, in the media you see that Investment Board is not really doing its job, or, there's a lot of criticism that comes about also. What I thought is, to be fair, let's compare with two countries, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. If you look at the chart, Bangladesh established their investment board in 1989. Sri Lanka was 1979. And it took them almost 20, 30 years to really, after a lot of changes in their act, laws, it took them that many years to really come up with cross the $1 billion mark. So Nepal currently, it is 12 years, we have crossed $200 billion mark, I think, because of the COVID and all. There's been an impact, but I'm sure it's not that bad. The other thing to look at also is it's an evolution. You cannot expect Investment Board to actually perform just by itself within a year or 2 years, because what Investment Board is all about is it's Nepal's project. What Investment Board is all about, it represents the country Nepal, and not just a board. Which means that everyone involved, the ministries, the bureaucracy, the private sector, we all need to support Investment Board if we really want investment. An institution just cannot do it by itself. So that's where I think we need to do a lot of work, and that's where we need to have patience and persistence. The other is adaptation and innovation. As you can see, the act is changed. The other has been restructured and all that. So definitely we need to adapt to changes. That's why we also had a change in 2019. And third, and most important is the commitment. As I don't want to get into details, I don't have that kind of time, but if you look at the boards, they're really committed, very high-powered board. Not only that, they're so high-powered that they can, in some cases, they can even make laws. So that's what the investment board was. But now, let's talk about where investment board is now. I mean, a lot of this is not communicated, I'm sure, to the general public. But right now, investment approval of over 9.3 billion for 42 projects have been made by the investment board. Over $3 billion projects under implementation. There is a, in order for action to come, there has to be policies and procedures. So guideline mechanisms have been built around investment board. And then there is also, for investment promotion, 3 international conferences was organized. For institutional development, the IBN fund was established. There is a 5-year strategic plan and developed, and web portals to help the investors and the officials. And finally, there's a lot of cooperation. I think, behind the walls is always a cooperation, otherwise nothing would move forward between the political parties, with the political parties, the government, development parties, development partners, and professional groups, and so on. So if you look at it, there has been a lot of activities that have been positive for investment board. And one thing we must understand, whatever investment board is working is not investment board's project. Like I said before, it's the government's, it's the people of Nepal's project. Now let's see, just as I showed you the chart of Sri Lanka, let's look at Nepal, FDIs in Nepal. If you look at for the last 30 years, there actually was no FDI. If you look at from the 1980s to, and boom, after 2010, after 2011, when the investment board was established, then you are seeing the FDI going up, and the highs and lows are because of the COVID and other that happened. It was also because of the earthquake and so forth. Now, for this, the key drivers are, the political and government support. Without that, this would have been possible. And I must mention that unwavering support of UK aid since 2012. They've been around helping US, helping the investment board since 2012, and also technical assistance of partners. And of course, at the end of the day, we have to give credit to the tenacity, determination, dedication of investment board and the office. Now, where do we go from here? Because one thing is, so what are the challenges? Where do we go on from here? And basically, 12 years of mandate is, as the experience that we've had is, the question that we always get is IBN still one window or another window? It was a talk at that time also. I think we really need to focus on that because we have to compete, like I said, with other countries in order to actually build a one-window shop. It doesn't have to be physically, but whatever the IBN board decides needs to be implemented. You cannot have IBN be responsible for all the implementation when, as a matter of fact, the ministries and the other institutions are basically making those decisions. The second is, I think, the project pipeline development. We talk a lot about, and we hear a lot about the DFIs and others. They want to invest in Nepal. Naturally, there has to be projects. I do not see really well curated projects in Nepal even now. So the DFIs should invest more on actually curating transformational projects in different sectors and actually helping enhance the capacity of the investment board and in country in general in order to do that. And the last is, basically, I think the institutional sustainability, and this is the key for the investment board. Even currently, investment board does not have full-time staff. There are secondment from the government and there are consultants. So we are talking about signing 30, 40 years contracts, $1 billion worth with private sectors. Now, who's going to really regulate those? Who's going to look after those contracts? There has to be some kind of institutional memory. Otherwise, without that, there's going to be a lot of risk for the government of Nepal.
Of Investment Board in Nepal. The World Bank is proud to be a trusted partner of IBM through these years and in Nepal's development for more than half a century. I applaud the government's concerted efforts and key steps taken to reform the FDI entry regime in Nepal. We're making steps. We still have a long way to go, but we need to do it together. These include reducing the minimum FDI threshold, proposing to use an automatic approval process for foreign investments under 500 million rupees in selected sectors, and removing the minimum FDI threshold for the ICT sector. The government's focus on economic growth and reform efforts to attract, facilitate, and promote investment, including FDI and PPPs, are indeed noteworthy. We encourage a coordinated, all-of-government approach to these challenges, and we stand ready to work with you on this. This is all the more important as Nepal pivots to a development pathway that is green, resilient, and inclusive to spur green growth and sustainable development for the benefit of all Nepalis. The World Bank will be a steadfast partner in Nepal's grid, agenda, and stands committed to help operationalize this vision. Thank you, and again, congratulations.
That was a record.
I would like to thank Shri Srilbata, CEO IBM, for providing this opportunity to share my thoughts with August Cathy. SJVN has started its Nepal project way back in 2008 by signing MOU of Arun 3 hydroelectric project. And since then, we made a long way. As of late, SJVN is developing 3 hydro projects of 2200 megawatt. In the last 12 years, IBM has been instrumental in infrastructure development of Nepal. IBM, being a single window of all FDI investors, has facilitated the streamlining of the process, formulating different laws and regulations to improve the ease of doing business. The Public-Private Partnership and Investment Act approval of 2019 is one of such major initiatives. SJVN Limited has been working in a close association with IBM for the past 12 years, and whenever there are issues, it has been addressed by IBM proactively. The support provided by IBM for the import of construction material, machinery, plant, equipment, remittance of the payment to the foreign suppliers, and coordination with different stakeholders, approvals extra in a time-bound manner are acceptable. The progress achieved by SJVN in Arun 3 could not have been possible without the hand-holding of IBM. The approval of the detailed project report of Lower hydroelectric project granted by IBM under the dynamic leadership of Right Honorable Prime Minister Shri Prachandji in a record time of 3 months, and conclusion of PDA and its signing are few such examples, which itself demonstrates the capacity, competency, and speed at which IBM can be. SJVN is developing almost 56,000 megawatt of the power projects in the field of hydro, solar, wind, thermal in India and other countries, out of which 2200 megawatt of hydro projects are in Nepal. I would like to confirm, which has been told by our worthy chairman in past, that SJVN is committed to generate at least 5,000 megawatt of hydro project in Nepal by 2030. On this occasion, I would like to suggest that IBM should be empowered to act as an infrastructure authority, which should be in a position to grant different licenses, approvals, apart from facilitating the FDI investors. A long-term power trade has jointly been agreed by India and Nepal during the visit of Right Honorable Prime Minister of Nepal to India in May. During this occasion, the Honorable Prime Minister of India has mentioned that the target of importing 10,000 megawatt of electricity from Nepal in coming years has been set. However, to meet that requirement, to complete that work, the land acquisition and ROW issues are being a major bottleneck and are delaying and will be delaying the ongoing projects. As such, I request that all necessary regulation of transmission line infrastructure need to be framed at the earliest to achieve this ambitious target. Thank you.
Respected Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Pushp Kamal Dalji, bureaucrats, all other invited guests, including media friends, good morning and namaste to all of you. On behalf of GMR Group, I would like to convey my heartiest congratulations to IBN for their 12th anniversary being organized today. IBN has undoubtedly played an instrumental role in making Nepal an investment destination with the ultimate objective of ensuring long-term sustainable social and economic development of the country. GMR Group is a leading infrastructure conglomerate with interest in airport, energy, transportation and urban infrastructure. GMR Group through its special SPV, GMR Upper Karnali Hydropower Limited and Karnali Transmission Company Private Limited has its footprints in Nepal for the development and implementation of 900 megawatt Upper Karnali Hydropower Project. Upper Karnali Hydropower Project is a large flagship export-oriented project having high visibility and is closely followed by all the stakeholders and international investors and lenders communities. GMR Group, after going through all hardship, pain and challenges shown by GMR and with full support from Investment Board of Nepal, including state and central level, we have been able to reach as a stage where this project now has been positioned as a first world tri-nation project having supply of power from Nepal to Bangladesh. With the efforts being made by GMR on this project, international community and the lenders are looking Nepal as a valuable destination for investment in Nepal. Now we are reached at a stage where we have been able to finalize a power sale agreement for supply of 500 megawatt of power from Upper Karnali Hydropower Project to Bangladesh. At a time when Nepal is looking to attract FDIs, particularly in the hydropower sector, and wants to sell its surplus power to the neighboring countries like India, Bangladesh, Bhutan. This power purchase agreement will open door for all the IPPs of Nepal to export power to its neighboring countries. We emphasize from our side GMR for timely commitments made to the government of Nepal to deliver this project. We wish all the success to IBN for this event and for all their upcoming future ventures. Thank you and namaste.
It's my extreme pleasure to be a part of this celebration of 12th Foundation Day of Investment Board of Nepal. As we all know that Investment Board of Nepal is a very significant organization who is pursuing the investments from abroad as well as the domestic also for the development of the country. I express my congratulations to the entire board of Investment Board of Nepal on this auspicious day, and Honorable Prime Minister of Nepal being the chairman of this board, I extend my regard and the good wishes for further success stories of Investment Board. I happened to meet Mr. Bhatta, the CEO of the board, when I visited Nepal last in April, and I found him a person who is always filled with enthusiasm, a lot of excitement, to pursue the objectives of the IBN, and the way he conducted the interactions with NHPC that time. I being the chairman of the NHPC, I really admire his courage, really admire his enthusiasm, and I think that this kind of approach of the CEO of Investment Board of Nepal would take this organization a lot further. As regards to the NHPC, we have already signed 2 MOUs for the development of 2 projects, that is West Sethi and SR6. And that also happened very quickly because we engaged into discussions about
a developer of Upper 331 hydropower project, 216 megawatt in Rashua. Koen, as first Korean company investing in hydropower in Nepal, believe that Nepal should implement an effective one-stop solution approach for FDI project rather than involving multiple governmental organizations. I would suggest IBN make the FDI friendly constant policy on currency hedging, repatriation, work permit visa. The physical progress of UTN as of now is almost 22%, with the expected COD set for the end of 2026 following the successful completion of UT1. We are planning to undertake another hydropower project in Nepal. Thank you.
尊敬的普拉桑纳先生、苏舍巴塔先生以及各位与会嘉宾，大家上午好，我是川德国际尼泊尔水电联合开发投资公司董事长杨明。首先，向尼泊尔 IBN 成立12周年表示祝贺，也感谢贵司邀请我参加此次周年庆。非常遗憾，我仅以这样的方式表示祝贺，再次向各位歉意，并向普拉桑纳先生以及 IBN 的各位人士长期以来对公司的支持和帮助表示感谢。川德国际尼泊尔水电联合开发公司成立于2017年11月，其开发投资的马象集合基地所在站项目是川投集团首个走出去项目，也是迄今为止中资企业在有最大一笔电力投资，被四川省委省政府确定为“一带一路”标杆项目。该项目总投资约12亿美元，其中我们与尼泊尔投资委员会就是 IBN 合作的上马夏第2电站项目总投资约6.47亿美元，系该3级梯级电站中投资规模最大的一级。自公司成立以来 ，IBN 为我方在推动项目建设过程中提供了大量的支持和帮助。公司也积极响应了 IBN 的相关政策要求，双方在加速项目投建、优化经济指标、加强社会效益等诸多方面进行了充分沟通。今年是 IBN 成立12周年，也是共建“一带一路”倡议提出10周年。四川省政府主要领导于今年5月完成了对尼泊尔的访问，6月又迎来贵国副总理斯雷斯塔先生一行来川访问。这期间，我陪同川德集团公司董事长刘晓西先生全程参与，见证了中尼两国在“一带一路”构架下为推动项目发展和双方经济文化交流所做出的积极贡献。这标志着两国友谊合作迈上崭新台阶，项目进展取得实质性飞跃。虽然目前项目推进中还存在征地移民、双方员工工作许可、非与风险分摊措施等方面的问题挑战，但基于双方前期的友好合作关系，我相信 IBN 在未来会一如既往的支持上马将军2项目，协助并加快推动项目开工建设。希望我们双方能以马上积极电站开发为契机，未来有更多领域的合作交流。也希望更多实力雄厚、心理优良的尼泊尔能看到在尼泊尔的商业投资机会，助力中尼两国达成合作共赢的一致目标。最后，祝愿大家工作顺利、身体健康，预祝本次活动取得圆满成功。谢谢，再见。
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in fact
Honourable Minister of Finance, Minister of Energy and Water Resources, Minister of Industry and Commerce, Minister of Forestry and Environment. I've had the honour to meet all of you, I think, in my very short time here, and I'm extremely grateful for that. I'm particularly honoured to be given this opportunity to make some very brief remarks at this fantastic event. As you know, the UK have been partnering with IBN in various capacities since its inception. We've heard today some of the major milestones you have already achieved, and which we have been proud to support. There have been challenges, and we have faced them together. to improve the sustainability and effectiveness of the institution you have built. We see this as a critical institution which facilitates much needed investment in Nepal. High quality foreign investment, partnering with Nepali business, can bring capital investment, but also skills and technology transfer, which is much needed to drive domestic growth and create jobs. The investment board can also make sure those investments protect the environment and safeguard the rights of communities affected by those investments. There is still a lot of work to do together, as Nepal remains a tough place for businesses to thrive and foreign investors to work. In our next phase of support through our Green Growth Nepal program, due to start next year, we're putting partnerships at the heart of the way we work. We'll be looking to work much more closely with many of you in the room here today. So, namaste sabaiharu. Ma tapaiसँग काम गर्न पाउँदा धेरै खुसी छु।
हाम्रो देश आर्थिक समस्याबाट विभिन्न कारणबाट गुज्रेको छ, तर राम्रो दिन आउँदैछ। त्यसको राम्रो संकेतहरू देखा पर्न थालेका छन्। त्यसको मतलब यो होइन कि हामी समस्या रहित भइसक्यौँ, त्यो होइन। समस्याहरू छन्, तर ती समस्याहरूलाई हटाउँदै आर्थिक वृद्धि बढाउने राम्रो अवसरहरू अब सुरु हुन्छ र त्यसका संकेतहरू देखिएका छन्। हाम्रो विदेशी मुद्राको सञ्चिति राम्रो छ, पर्यटक आगमन वृद्धि भइरहेका छ, त्यसले पनि आर्थिक गतिविधि बढाउँछ। हाइड्रो पावरमा एउटा प्रगति लय पक्रिराखेको छ र इन्डियासँगको जुन सम्झौता भएको छ 10,000 मेगावाटसम्म विद्युत खरिद गर्ने 10 वर्षमा, त्यसले लगानीकर्ताहरूलाई एउटा सुनिश्चित मार्केट प्रदान गरेको छ। त्यस्तै खाले समझदारी हामी चीनसँग पनि आगामी दिनमा हुन्छ भन्ने हामीले विश्वास लिएका छौँ। त्यसले थप एउटा बजार हाम्रो हाइड्रो पावरको जुन सम्भावना छ त्यो बजारलाई खोल्दछ भन्ने मलाई लागेको छ। हामी पहिला पर्यटकको कुरा गर्दा पश्चिमी देशहरूको पर्यटकको मात्रै हाम्रो दिमागमा आउँथ्यो अथवा जापानको हाम्रो दिमागमा आउँथ्यो। अहिले जुन हाम्रो छिमेकी देशहरू ग्रो गरिरहेछ, आर्थिक उन्नति प्रगति भइरहेको छ, त्यसले चाहिँ एउटा धेरै ठुलो सम्भावना टुरिज्ममा छ। तेस्रो सम्भावना हाम्रो यो आग्री सेक्टरमा पनि ठुलो सम्भावना छ। जुन हाम्रो टोपोग्राफी छ, भेराइट क्लाइमेट छ, त्यसले एउटा चाहिँ सहज वातावरण दिन्छ नेपालमा लगानी गर्ने र त्यसको बजार विदेशमा समेत प्राप्त गर्ने सम्भावना त्यसले दिएको छ। त्यस्तै गरेर अहिले आईटी सेक्टर इज ग्रोइङ र यंगेस्टर young people are coming into it and they are exporting। र यो चाहिँ बृहत सम्भावनाको क्षेत्र छ। त्यसमा मेजर इन्भेस्टरहरूलाई जुन विदेशका जुन स्थापित यो आईटी सेक्टरका कर्पोरेसन कम्पनीहरू छन्, तिनीहरूलाई हामीले ल्याउन सक्नुपर्दछ र हामी चाँडै अब एउटा लगानी समिट पनि नेपालमा गर्छौँ। त्यसको लागि अब तत्कालै हामी यथेष्ट गृह कार्य पनि सुरु गर्छौँ, बजेटमा पनि हामीले बोलेका छौँ। त्यही म भन्दै अन्त्यमा फेरि पनि all those who are gathered here, excellencies and mission chiefs who are contributing in Nepal's development efforts, I like to thank on behalf of IBN and on behalf of Government of Nepal. There is a tremendous opportunity that is available in Nepal. Our investment laws is good. We are trying to make it even better. So, and there is I heard from Chief of World Bank here that this limit on foreign investment cap need to be removed. We'll look into that. We already said that in IT sector there should not be any limitation, capital requirement. We already did that in hydro sector, IT sector, agro sector, mines and minerals, industrial infrastructure and urban infrastructure. There are a lot of opportunities and Nepal is in a right track. We have our new constitution firmly in place, so we have legal provisions and whatever hurdles that may come, we are ready to address those hurdles. And before this investment summit takes place, we'll make sure that whatever grievances that may come or that you may have in your mind, we are ready to address those grievances. And in coming days, we like to see investment in all these sectors. And I also like to tell you that whoever have come to invest in Nepal, they have made good profit. Whether it's in communication sector, NCL is making good profit. Dabur, they are making good profit. Surya Tobacco, they are making good profit. Coca-Cola and all others, they are making good profit. In hydropower, because it's an assured market and we have power purchase agreement, so no problem in that. So I think there is a great potential not only to invest in Nepal, but also make money. Because private sector will not come if they don't see profit. We know that. So I welcome to invest in Nepal, and as ambassadors and chief of the missions and people representing different investors organization station in Kathmandu, I urge you to spread these good words to other potential investors. Thank you very much.
This is marking the milestone of a PTA signature and board of Nepal for the entire team's outstanding contribution in successfully leading. Mr. Amrit Lomsar, Joint Secretary, Office of the Investment Board, Nepal. Director, Nepal Electricity Authority. Office of the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers. As we extend our congratulations and thank Mr. Akshay Raspor, Mission and Service to the Office of Investment Board, Nepal.
I am delighted to join with you today to celebrate the 12th anniversary of IBM. At the outset, let me express my gratitude to the members of IBM and its CEO for inviting me to this program. In the span of past 11 years, the IBM has played a pivotal role in driving economic growth, building trust with the development partners, attracting investment and contributing to the national building initiatives. As we enter into new year, I am fully confident that the IBM will chart out a new course of action with the new spirit, determination and enthusiasm. Excellencies and distinguished participants, COVID-19 pandemic has further deepened the division among the countries. We are now in the phase of low investment and low growth. Technological and digital advancement have, of course, made our lives easier, but concern of digital security and fluency persist more than ever. Rise of economic nationalism and protectionism have added further challenges to overall economic health of the least developed country like ours. Increasing public debt and shrinking fiscal space are distressing. Distinguished participants, Amidst these challenges and overwhelming crisis, the government has determinedly pursuing its ambition to graduate from the status of LDC by 2026. We are effortful to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal by 2030. We are effortful to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal by 2030. We have set an ambitious target to become a carbon neutral country by 2045. To achieve all this, we need huge investment. While going through the testimonials of developers, investors and partners, I am happy with the initiative taken by the IBN in building trust and development with development partners, reforming policies and instrumental mechanisms. Despite the limited human and technical resources, IBN has been able to make some noticeable progress during the days. It is our topmost priority to improve investment climate in Nepal. The government is always committed to continuous improvement of the policies, laws, regulation, procedures and institutional arrangement for strengthening business and investment environment. We will continuously work to increase private investment including FDI for economic development of the nation in an inclusive and sustainable manner. Since the adoption of liberal market economy in 1990, the government has been partnering with the private sector. The current 15th five-year plan has envisioned garnering more than half of total investment from the private sector, and we are in the last years of its implementation. While we are drafting the 16th periodic plan, the government of Nepal firmly believes that resource mobilization from both domestic and foreign private partners is crucial for national development. In line with the spirit of the Constitution, coordination and cooperation among all tiers of the government is indispensable for creating investment-friendly environment. We have been developing various tools and mechanisms to strengthen coherence within and among different levels of government. Hydropower, tourism, agriculture, ICT, among others, are our sector of comparative advantage. We have been practicing build one, operate, transfer, both modality in few sectors. However, we need to develop transformative project through other new form of PPP. In this regard, I have instructed the entire team of IBM to take initiative toward this direction. On this very day, I would like to request all our valued potential investors to increase investment in Nepal. We value every investment, large or small, and we are committed to de-risking those investments. I assure all the investors and stakeholders that the Investment Board of Nepal, along with other concerned authorities, will offer you the best services. Nepal is an attractive investment destination and has a favorable investment climate. And the government is committed to effective hand-holding of our investment during the entire business life cycle. As all of you are well aware that last year we have already successfully organized the 3 tiers of election: local election, provincial election, and federal election in a very democratic way, in a very peaceful way. It has created a very peaceful and political stability, and we want to focus our whole attention in the economic building. Distinguished participants, before I conclude, I would like to highlight few points. Firstly, government is committed to ensure the policy improvement in terms of FDI and for effective handholding of the projects that are in the various stages of development, particularly in PPP model. I had directed all government mechanisms to provide prompt response to the developer. we must translate our continued commitment into action. And if there are any grievances of the developer, I have asked CEO IBM to report me, provide information, then I will immediately intervene. Chief Secretary is there to respond immediately to take required action for solving the problem. Please let him know. Secondly, government is seriously thinking to develop IBM as a fast-track agency with required skill set and human resources. We want IBM to be strengthened in terms of resources, capacity, and service delivery to valued investors. We have already mandated CEO to come up with concrete ideas for improvement. Thirdly, I highly value development partners, multilateral banks and relevant partners for their support and contribution toward our development effort. In this regard, I would like to urge them to work with IBM closely to develop PPP sector in Nepal for increasing private sector participation in nation building. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Very good afternoon. First of all, I would like to express our humble gratitude to Right Honorable Prime Minister, Chairperson of IBM, Honorable Ministers, distinguished guests, valued investors, participants, for your gracious presence to mark the 12th anniversary of Investment Board Nepal. Investment Board Nepal has taken a new height in these glorious 12 years in terms of promoting and garnering private investment, executing projects and developing institutions as a PPP Center of Excellence. And I am delighted to contribute these endeavors as part of the esteemed and very profound institution chaired by Right Honorable Prime Minister. Specifically, the implementation of IBM's first strategic plan backed by 5-year business plan has streamlined each activity undertaken by the institution in result-based framework. And so our projects also aligned into result-based framework. And it has been 12 successful years for IBM towards realization of 42 mega projects in different sectors as energy, mines and quarry, industrial infrastructure, cable car and tourism, and which are for sure in different stages of development. IBM has approved an investment around USD 9.27 billion for 42 projects till today. And out of these projects, 28 projects alone are in energy sector and 14 are in non-energy sectors. And on non-energy sector, to realize these projects, those legal, regulatory and procedural frameworks are essentials on which IBM is preparing itself to deliver those projects. IBM has presented a demonstrative effect in hydroelectricity development under the PPP framework for domestic consumption schemes and export propositions as well. Moreover, IBM has been effectively hand-holding around 4,000 megawatt of clean energy projects that are already aligned into result-based framework for timely implementation. Among the projects to be implemented is 669 megawatt Lower Arun, 740 megawatt West Seti, indicated capacity of 450 for SR6, 327 Upper Marsangdi, 2 PROR hydropower projects. Further, following PDA signing of Lower Arun hydroelectric project, preparations have been arranged towards commencing its construction at earliest. And in the bid to amplify Nepal's renewable energy capacity, Board has acknowledged the DFSR for the development of 250 megawatt solar energy project. Similarly, IBM has granted study rights permit to another project for preparing detailed feasibility study report for 245 megawatt of solar energy project located in Dang district. Likewise, the commercial operation of 6,000 tons per day and 3,000 tons per day TPD, that is tons per day capacity, Hongsi Sivam and Wasin Cement, Narayani plants respectively have a positive impact on advancing quality and competitive pricing in the Nepalese cement industry. The flagship hydropower project Arun 3 with 900 megawatt installed capacity is in advanced stage of construction. Additionally, the 900 megawatt of Upper Karnali hydroelectric project has reached the financial closure stage. IBM has been doing its best to lift the morale and confidence of the investor. to garner quality investment. IBN has been equally focused on reach, retain, and regain approach for investment promotion. The reinvestment proposal of Dabur Nepal, the country's first generation FDI project, and 69 megawatt low Arun hydroelectric project, which increased investors' confidence for doing business in Nepal, but a few exemplary examples of a favorable investment climate in Nepal and increasing credibility of the institution IBN. We stress the need for effective coordination, collaboration, partnership between government and the private sector. We are collaborating with multilateral development banks, World Bank, ADB, CLDP, USA, USAID, Urja Nepal for capacity building and technical assistance. To force new partnership, memorandum of understandings have been signed with UNDP, FNCCI and Nabil Bank, and a membership of WAP, World Association of Public-Private Partnership, was also obtained. IBN has been enhancing its capacity, and the leadership is determined to institutionalize the IBN as an ideal institution for investor with quality and fast-track services in its stage of project life cycle. A firm and systematic foundation has already been laid for IBN. However, we have to, as expressed by Right Honorable Prime Minister, we have to strengthen the Secretariat or the Office of the Investment Board with ensuring sustainability and capacity to expedite the facilitation process or effective handholding service rendering to our valued investors. And in this period of 12 years, 3 PDAs, Power Development Agreements, and 2 PIAs are signed so far, and IBN has succeeded in generating hope and developed trust. Further, we have developed system and processes and streamlined the same in OIBN for fast-track facilitation of project from its development to implementation, in active coordination and collaboration with relevant government instrumentalities. Similarly, Project Bank Framework has also been developed to identify, select and prioritize credible and bankable projects. The establishment of IBN Fund and ONM survey are concrete steps taken for the sustainability of the institution. Other various initiatives for the system development and process improvement within the institution, like web-based one-stop service, platform, knowledge management platform, project bank management information system, project monitoring dashboards, manuals, standard operating procedures and guidelines have been undertaken to make the institution more functional. IBN strategies to prepare better, to grow consistently over the foreseeable future as a professional PPP institution and provide more transparency, better facilitation to valued investors, and ultimately complement more to national development targets by implementing strategic project and priority sectors such as hydropower, transport, agriculture, ICT, mining and minerals, health and manufacturing sectors. I would like to take this opportunity to express sincere appreciation on behalf of the Office of the Investment Board to Right Honorable Prime Minister and all the board members for providing guidance in each stage of our progress. And I would like to thank our line agencies, CDOs of Project District Development Partners, namely FCDO, UNDP, JICA, Development and Financial Institutions, ADB, World Bank, investors, private sector associations, experts, academicians, civil society, media, and each and every individual who has contributed to this institution over the last 12 years. And I would like to express thanks to former CEO of IBN, Mr. Radesh Panta, for his thematic presentation made today, highlighting the role of IBN and the way forward. Last but not the least, I would like to appreciate the efforts made by the OIBN team who have been working day in and out to make this event happen. Thank you.
Into a prosperous environment.